Test alert.
Seek safe harbor immediately.
For the following area. 4 a.m. Thursday. The National Weather Service in New York, has issued a coastal flood warning, which is in effect from midnight tonight to 4 a.m. Thursday. The coastal flood advisory is no longer in effect. Locations: vulnerable coastal locales along southern New Haven. Timing: during the times of high tide from midnight tonight to 4 a.m. Thursday. Coastal flood impacts: there is an elevated threat of property damage. Above ground level in the most low-lying and vulnerable areas. This will result in numerous road closures and cause widespread flooding of low-lying property, including parking lots, parks, lawns, and homes, businesses with basements near the waterfront. Vehicles parked in vulnerable areas near the waterfront will likely become flooded. Flooding will also extend inland from the waterfront along tidal rivers and bays. Shoreline impacts: breaking waves of 3 to 5 Strong southeast winds shift to the northwest before the time of high tide. The wave and flood impacts could be less than forecast. A coastal flood warning means that flooding is expected or for the following area: in Connecticut, southern Fairfield, and in New York, southern Westchester. Coastal flood warning in effect from midnight tonight to 4 a.m. Thursday. Locations: vulnerable coastal locales along southern Fairfield and southern Westchester. Timing: during the times of high tide from midnight tonight to 4 a.m. Thursday. Until 3 p.m. this afternoon. Coastal flood impacts: there is an elevated threat of property damage. Widespread flooding of vulnerable areas near the waterfront and shoreline. Expect 2 to 3 feet of inundation above ground level in the most low-lying and vulnerable areas. This will result in numerous road closures and cause widespread flooding of low-lying property, including parking lots, parks, lawns, and homes, businesses with basements near the waterfront. Vehicles parked in vulnerable areas near the waterfront will likely become flooded. Flooding will also extend inland from the waterfront along tidal rivers and bays. Shoreline impacts: breaking waves of 3 to 5 feet with elevated water levels will result in significant beach erosion and flooding during the times of high tide tonight, with some flooding of roadways and vulnerable structures behind protective dunes. Uncertainty: if strong southeast winds shift to the northwest before the time of high tide, the wave and flood impacts could be less than forecast. Here is the tide information. Flood watch in effect from 8 p.m. this evening through Friday morning. The National Weather Service in Albany has issued a flood watch for all of eastern New York and western New England from 8 p.m. this evening through Friday morning. Forecast rain amounts of 1 to 3 inches with isolated 4 inches will fall across the region tonight. Rainfall will be heavy at times, resulting in rising water levels on area streams and rivers. Furthermore, Thursday, mostly from fallen leaves and debris may experience rising water levels. A flood watch means there is a potential for flooding based on current forecasts. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. Those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. For the following areas: flood watch in effect from 10 p.m. this evening through Thursday morning. The National Weather Service Service in Boston Norton has issued a flood watch for portions of northern Connecticut and Massachusetts, including the following areas in northern Connecticut: Hartford, Tolland, and Windham. In Massachusetts, Franklin, Hampden, Hampshire, northern and central Middlesex, and Worcester. From 10 p.m. this evening through Thursday morning, a heavy rainfall event will impact portions of southern New England through Thursday morning. Storm total rainfall of 2 to 3 inches and locally up to 5 inches is expected. Significant urban and poor drainage flooding is likely. The flood watch means there is a potential for flooding based on current forecasts. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. Those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. Here are the 4 p.m.
Was located along a line extending from 13 miles south of Southampton to 8 miles south of East Hampton to 22 miles southeast of Hither Hills State Park, moving north at 40 miles per hour. Hazard, 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Source, radar indicated. Impact, expects damage to trees and power lines. This band of showers with intense winds will be near East Hampton around 11:05 p.m. Hither Hills State Park around 11:15 p.m. Gardeners Island around 11:20 p.m. Bridgehampton around 11:25 p.m. Sag Harbor and Newark around 11:30 p.m. Wind damage with these storms may occur without any lightning. Do not wait for the sound of thunder before taking cover. South Central New London County until 2:30 a.m. At 11:28 p.m., Doppler radar and train spot indicated very heavy rain falling across the Warren.
Groundwind encountering flooded roads. Most of the flood deaths occur in vehicles. The especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Repeating, a warning has been issued until 2:30 a.m. Thursday for the following county: New London, Connecticut. Flood watch until 12:30 a.m. At 11:37 p.m., a band of heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms capable of producing storm force winds was located along a line extending from near Nepean Bay to 28 nautical miles south of Montauk Shoal, moving north at 35 knots. Hazard, wind gusts in excess of 50 knots. Source, radar indicated. Impact, boats could suffer significant structural damage in high winds. This band of heavy showers and thunderstorms will be near Montauk Point around 11:50 p.m. Western Block Island found around midnight. Montauk Shoal around 12:20 a.m. Stonington around 12:25 a.m. Move to safe harbor until hazardous weather passes. For the following area, Weather Service issued a flood watch for all of eastern New York and western. The National Weather Service in Boston Norton has issued a flash flood warning for Windham County, Tolland County until 2:45 a.m. At 11:46 p.m., Doppler radar indicated heavy rain across the Warren area. 1 until 2:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. High area. Rainfall totals of 1 locations that will experience reported as of 11:45 p.m. Additional rainfall amounts of 2 to 3 inches are possible through 2 a.m. Flash flooding is expected to begin shortly. cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Turn around. Dublin, Woodstock, Marlborough, Willington, Columbia, Canterbury, Bolton, and Ashford. Higher ground immediately. Residents living along streams and creeks should take immediate precautions to protect life and property. Repeating, a flash flood warning has been issued until 2:45 a.m. Thursday for the following counties in Connecticut, Holland, and Windham.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm good.
The National Weather Service up in New York has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern New London County in southern Connecticut until 1:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:32 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from Norwich to 42 miles southeast of Montauk Point, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Expects damage to trees and power lines. Stations in Bedford, Ledyard, Griswold, Preston, Lisbon, Sprague, Bedford, Ledyard, Griswold, Preston, Lisbon, Sprague, Basra, Voluntown, Gales Ferry, and Ledyard Center. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. For the following areas, wind event is expected or occurring. Sustained wind speeds of at least 40 miles per hour or gusts of 58 miles per hour or more can lead to property damage.
Ha! Called it!
Warning in effect until 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time this evening. West winds 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts up to 65 miles per hour. Where? Entire tri-state area. When? Until 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time this evening. Impacts. Damaging winds will blow down trees and power lines. Widespread power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. A high wind reaching the hazardous high wind event is expected or occurring. Sustained wind speeds of at least 40 miles per hour or gusts of 58 miles per hour.